Alright, hello everyone. Sorry about that. For some reason, the stream just did not want to start, and I could not get YouTube to acknowledge that the stream was on. So, anyway, I'm here. I'm just trying to... Alright. Now, today, go ahead and put the cap back on. Alright, we are ready to begin. Let me go to my channel, see who's here. Turn down that. And there we go. Seems unusually bright today. It is bright. Oh, that's much better. Okay. For some reason, it was just unusually bright, so I couldn't figure out what was going on. But, alright, so, let me try to say hello to everybody. We got Tyler, Kevin, Granny Gaming, yes, I'm having a good day, Little Gamer, John, Moonzer, Mary, Jeffrey, Kevin, Mike, Thomas, Cormac, The Excited Mariner, Pookie Smoochie, Wyatt, we got Ocean Liner, Conrad, Mark, Christian, we got Allison here too. Hello, Allison. Thomas, and I think so far we got Daniel. Alright, so let me see. Cormac found out that their great-grandmother was on the Mauretania on the 4th of June 1939, and we have her trunk with a big Cunard sticker on it saying it. Okay, cool. That's pretty neat. Alright. So, audio is good, says Mike. Awesome. Thomas says, seems the buffering is better. Yeah, you know what it is... Oh, yeah. The thing... So, I think what was going on is because I'm uploading a video to YouTube right now, and after the stream, it's going to go live. So, so I think what was happening was the upload of the video was affecting the live stream. So I think that's the problem I was having. The video is going to be a ride through of the Seattle monorail. So please, by all means, watch it. It's going to go on YouTube after the live stream. I just have to type up the description of the video and then publish the video. But yeah, it'll be of the Seattle monorail. It'll just be like a ride through the full round trip. And then I'll be working on a video for Tuesday, which will be kind of like a virtual tour of the Seattle Underground. I took some footage of the Seattle Underground, and I'll kind of overlay some fun facts with it, with my own voice, of course. And then, yeah, so that'll be on Tuesday. And then hopefully Friday will be an update on the construction progress of the Queen Mary. So, let's see. Granny Gaming says, what tea is it this time? Today it is going to be English breakfast tea. Alright. Let's empty out half. If I could, I think I would just have Earl Grey all the time, but that might get boring very quickly. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Just doing the preheat of the teapot and teacup. All right. So how did you guys like the stream that I did outside of the Space Needle yesterday? It looked pretty nice, didn't it? That was the first time I've ever done a live stream, you know, outside, and it looked so clear. Usually, the YouTube app really sucks. If you try to just do a live stream using nothing but the YouTube app and your phone camera, it will look terrible. That's why when I would live stream at places like the Evergreen Aviation Museum, or when I live streamed at the Tillamook Creamery and stuff like that, the live stream quality looked really bad. And that's because that's just what YouTube does. It just live streams really terribly. So I had used a different software that a lot of YouTube streamers use, and it's like a third-party software, and allows you to log into YouTube separately, and then it will upload a stream at a higher quality. And so that's exactly what I did. I uploaded the stream at 1080, and so it was much crisper, cleaner, and the colors were more vibrant. So yeah, so next time I do live streaming, you know, away from home, I'll be using that software. The only thing was, after the stream was done, I could not get the stream to stop. I actually had to have my friend Chris log in, because I wasn't at a computer. I was in Seattle, so I actually had to have Chris log into my account for me and then stop the stream manually, because even though the software has like a button for you to stop the stream, I pressed the button, but the stream did not stop, no matter what I did. And I went onto the YouTube app on my phone to try to turn off the stream, and it would not turn off. So, yeah, it was just ridiculous. Mary says the camera is out of focus. Okay, let's see. Should be able to. It looks focused on my phone. Yeah. Everybody let me know if the camera's out of focus. It should be in focus. Also keep in mind it's a live stream, so it's not going to be crystal clear. It's a live stream. Lana McQueen says, do you know how many passengers boarded the Queen Mary during her lifespan? There is an official number. There's a number out there, but off the top of my head, I don't remember. Granny Gaming says, do you have slow internet? Oh, no. I have lightning fast internet. Large bandwidth, lots of internet speed, unlimited amount of data, and then Yeah, and the system is a fiber optic system, so it's some of the fastest internet anyone can get. I made sure to do that because of the fact that, you know, I'm a YouTuber, so I need to be able to constantly work with 4K content. So, Little Gamer says, how's your channel doing? Really not so well. I've been really struggling to try to get content out that people will watch, and so yeah, I've just had to accept the last few weeks that I may have to. There might be a chance I might have to stop doing the channel because it's just not working. People aren't watching the videos in the numbers that I need in order for it to sustain itself. So, and it is very costly to run the channel if no money comes in from the channel. So, yeah. Awesome, Daniel. Ocean Liner 119. No, I haven't heard of that ship before. Moonzer says, what did they do to RMS Queen Mary's original funnels? They were thrown away. Empire of Waterloo wants to know where I put the other poster. It's right around the corner. So, literally right around the corner, it's hanging on that side. Hello, Andrew. Tyler says... my Uncle Mike's grandfather came to America on Lusitania in 1911, and his great-uncle came home from World War II on the Queen Elizabeth. Wow. Yeah, my dad was nervous about doing the stream last time. He really wasn't sure what to expect, or, you know, how many people would want to talk to him, that kind of thing. So he got a really warm welcome from everybody, so he really liked that. He enjoyed doing the stream. Mary, yes, I do know about HMS Sydney. Alright, let's get this tea going. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this in 5 minutes, so yeah, maybe 4:30. Okay. Jeffrey says, will you be doing more traveling through the Pacific Northwest? You know, I would love to. There's a cycle. The channel has to do well so I have the money to travel. And when I have the money to travel, I can get more content to you guys, which earns me more money so I can do more traveling. The problem comes when people aren't watching the content that I spent money traveling to film. So that's, you know, it ends up costing me lots of money doing this traveling and going to these museums and spending money on the stuff that I do to get you guys content. So that is kind of the problem I'm facing right now. Is it's fun to travel, but without the channel, I do not have the money to travel. So it's like an investment. Every single time I go somewhere and I film something, I'm putting a small investment into the channel, and if people don't watch the content that comes from it, it ends up costing me money in the end. And so it becomes very difficult to keep up with that. So that's kind of the situation I'm facing. I do want to travel more through the Pacific Northwest, but without people watching the content that I produce, I can't keep doing that. So let's see. Moonzer says they scrapped after they were taken off because they had collapsed. They didn't collapse so much as just being ripped off the ship, but I mean, yeah, they did collapse. Yeah, some people say they were scrapped, but I think they were just so corroded, I don't even think they were worth money in metal. Because you would have had to remove the paint, and, you know, I don't think it was worth it for them. Just like the lifeboats on the Queen Mary that were thrown away, a lot of people say scrapped because they assume that that's what you do with every part of a ship, but they were so corroded and so they would have needed a lot of cleaning up before they could be scrapped, and nobody was willing to do that. So let's see. Granny Gaming says, what software is it? It's something called Streamlabs, and it's something you put on your phone. Let's see. John says, how did you get up to Seattle? I got up to Seattle by bus. I got up to Seattle, my dad drove, so I don't drive because of my schizophrenia. It's not safe, so I rely on people to drive me there, or if I have to, you know, take a train or a plane to get somewhere, then I will. But yeah, this time we just drove up there. Let's see here. Doc says, has the Queen Mary ever been outfitted as an apartment or condo building, or has it always been hotels? Any talk of condos in the future? No, the Queen Mary's never been outfitted as an apartment or condo building, and that wouldn't be a good idea because people have accidents. People set fire to their apartments. And so if you had an accident like that on the Queen Mary, you know, it would be gone forever. Or people have other kinds of accidents. They clog their toilets. They, you know, they rip things up. Their kids carve through the walls, you know, that kind of thing. So there are certain accidents that can happen in a hotel too, such as clogging a drain or something. But generally speaking, people don't spend enough time in the Queen Mary hotel rooms to cause the maximum amount of damage that might happen by living in an apartment for a long time. I mean, imagine if they had given out the rooms on the Queen Mary as condos, people would be, you know, hanging up their pictures by, you know, hammering nails through the precious veneered walls. So for that reason, it would do more damage than good to have the Queen Mary as a condo building or apartment building. She's best suited as a hotel, in my opinion. Okay, so one more minute on that tea. Thank you, Tyler. Daniel says, hey, Alex, how long did it take to repair Queen Mary's bow after she collided with Curacao? Well, I can't tell you how long it took to fix the bow specifically, because whenever they dry dock a ship, they do more than just one project, and sometimes the other projects cause a delay on it. As far as I understood, it took a month in Boston to get all the work done on the Queen Mary. But again, that's not a month working on the bow stem. That could just be like a week working on the bow stem, while the other 3 weeks were just finishing up other projects. All I can tell you is how long she was in dry dock, and that's about a month. Let's see. Kevin says RMS Queen Mary carried around 2,112,000 passengers during her life. If that's true, then that is impressive. Mary says, what's your favorite warship in history? I don't have one. I don't know anything about warships. Let's see. Time for tea. Joe B says, what's the largest number of passengers the Queen Mary ever carried on a voyage? That depends if you mean like a passenger voyage or... Well, I guess you did say passengers. So on a peacetime voyage, the largest number ever carried was around 3,500 or maybe even 3,800 passengers, and that was probably the last voyage, August 30th of 1939. She had almost 4,000 passengers. So she was far exceeding her capacity for comfortable passenger accommodation. And that's because there were a lot of refugees who were fleeing Europe. So, yeah. Now, I learned the hard way that if I drop tea on the rim of this thing, that I better clean it up as soon as I drop it, because later on at the end of the stream, when I go to clean the teapot in the sink, that tea would have just dried on there, and it takes a long time to scrub it off. And I don't like scrubbing the china because I don't want to eventually wear away all of the enamel on the thing. Okay. Put the lid back on. Go ahead and dump out this. And start preparing my cup of tea. Well, that's going to be a very strong cup of tea, I can already tell. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, Justin says, I wouldn't stop the channel. I think you said channel, but it says child. I would take a break from it for a while. You know, again, it's not so much like... A lot of people think that what I do is like, oh, I just, you know, willy-nilly, like, produce content, throw it on YouTube, and whatever's whatever. It takes a lot of thinking and a lot of work to do what I do, because I do this as my job. So imagine if I ran like a small movie studio. I mean, that's a much bigger example of what I do, but nevertheless, imagine if I ran a small movie studio. You produce the movies, you put them out, not enough people watch them, they tank at the box office, and soon enough, after producing more and more and spending more and more and putting out more and more, and people aren't watching it, eventually you run out of business. There's no taking a break. There's just, you're out of business. You know, that's what this is, you know, in order to produce content, I spend money. The hope is that it makes more money than it costs, you know, and if that doesn't happen, I can't keep spending money. I can't keep producing content, especially time. Time is also money, you know, so it's, you know, I can't keep doing it if people aren't watching the stuff. So, and I've had to fiddle with the idea of just completely changing the content whatsoever, like just completely producing viral content, stuff that just gets people's attention, you know, and isn't necessarily educational. And the thing is like, that's not what I want to do. That's not why I set out to create this channel. I created this channel because I wanted to share my passions for learning and history and stuff like that. So what do you do when you have a channel that does that and it ends up costing you a lot of money to do that and it doesn't make that money back? You have to stop. So I don't want to stop. I want to keep doing this, but I don't know how else to get people to watch the content. It's being produced, it's being published, it's out there. Why I'm only getting a tiny percentage of my viewers watching it, I have no clue. And I've put out polls asking people their opinions on things, and just, you know, I'm literally doing the research to figure out what's going on. The truth is that the people who watch the channel don't often know what they want. Yeah, they want history content, but for some reason they don't watch all of it. So obviously they don't want all the history content. They want certain things. But when you give them certain things, then they don't know that that's what they really wanted in the first place. You know, you get exactly what they get exactly what they want, but then they're kind of like, oh, well, this isn't how I thought it would turn out. So it's really complex. It's extremely complex. You know, that's why a lot of YouTubers end up getting these teams of people, because you have like a logistics person. They often call them just like a manager, and the manager just figures out like, what do people really want to watch? Despite what they say, what do they really want to watch? How do we plan that out and put that into a thing? And then you have editing teams and stuff like that. I do everything myself, and so yeah, it does get kind of difficult because there's no taking a break for me. It's either or. It's either I make content or I start a new career path. You know, so I can't do both. It's not possible because what I do takes up so much time. You know, the research and stuff. You know what I got recently? Where is it? Hold on. So what does Alex do when he wants to bring you guys content? Does he go on Wikipedia and then just copy and paste a bunch of stuff into, you know, into like a document? No, I can't do that because a lot of people, they're too smart for that. They know when you're copying and pasting stuff. So what do I have to do if I want to bring you guys new content? I have to buy books. I have to do research. And so I'll read the books and I'll take notes and, you know, and I'll try to learn everything inside and out. And that takes a lot of time. A lot of time. Months sometimes. I did a video on the Disneyland Railroad. Oh, actually 4 videos on Disneyland Railroad. That took a year to make. A year. Before I ever started making my first videos on ocean liners or Queen Mary, I did a year of research before I got into that. So the problem I've been facing is that people want more, faster. People have been telling me, Mauretania, you know, Oceanic, Titanic, give me more, give me all this stuff. I don't know any of it, so I have to go research it. I have to read books. I have to do all this stuff. And so... problem is that takes time, you know, a lot of time, because people people know the difference between somebody who just like copies and pastes things without actually like doing the research, and then someone who actually knows what they're talking about. So I'm gonna put a lot of extra milk in this one because I think I made the tea really strong. All right. I think, though, I could produce more content faster. But I think part of it is that I've been so discouraged by, the last 2 months. Because it seems like I could put in a lot of, time and effort into making a video, but then it might not be seen by very many people, and it might just end up costing me money. So part of me is like, well, what do I do, and what's the point, Justin says, I think people really like videos on unknown ships. The newest one in the Dutch liner, I think, is the greatest example. Isn't she the one that became Laconia of the Greek line? Yeah, I actually have been doing research on the TSMS Laconia. It was known as the Johann von Oldenbarnevelt. And so, yeah, that was one that I've been talking about for months, that I'm doing a video on it. But for months, I've been doing research on it. So, yeah. Mary says, if you could, would you sail on the Crown Prince Wilhelm if it was still around and in service? I don't know. I'm going to say I don't think so. Yeah. I like it, but I don't know that I would want to spend a voyage on it. Let's see. Mary says, do you have a video planned for Thanksgiving or Christmas yet? No, and the reason why is because it seems that when I produce content that is themed to a, when it's themed to a holiday, people don't watch it. So I have kind of learned the hard way over the years not to produce content that is themed to a holiday. The last time I did that was my Vampires of the Ursuline Convent video, which did not do well. It did very terribly. And that was for Halloween. So you'd think that with, like, I mean, because other channels do it, right? I mean, they produce content for a holiday. And then those do very, very well. For some reason on my channel, those have never done well. Last year, for Christmas, I did a video about the history of the Christmas tree. In fact, if you go to my channel homepage right now, it's right there on the top. Didn't do very well at all. So yeah, for some reason on my channel, people don't like to watch stuff that is themed to a holiday. Let's see. Daniel says, hey Alex, have you seen the Old Steamboats video called How Ghosts Killed the Queen Mary? And if so, what were your thoughts? Yes, I have seen it, and I thought it was wonderful, and I left the content creator a comment, basically just thanking them so much for, the video and what it means to me and all that stuff. I don't think they saw it, to be totally honest. So I was a bit disappointed by that. Again, I try to be one of those YouTubers that reads everybody's comments and shows some kind of sign that I've read it or whatever. But I don't think the content creator saw it. But yeah, I did think it was a really great video. Justin says, they did do one more stunt with the funnels as they did at the very beginning when they were installed. They drove cars through one of them in Long Beach. It was sort of fun to know. Can you confirm? I've never heard of them doing that, but maybe if I talk to Steve, he might be able to shed some light on it. Thank you, Granny Gaming, for the donation. My second time trying this. What can $2 get? Let's see. Justin says, may I say, Alex, your schizophrenia does not show on these videos or in your craft, so just, you know, you come across very, very well. All the best to you on that front. Thank you so much. Let's see. Go ahead and dunk this. Wyatt Horn says, what was Thanksgiving and Christmas like on the Queen Mary? You have to remember Queen Mary was a British ship. And in Great Britain, they don't celebrate the American Thanksgiving holiday. So there was pretty much nothing celebrated on the Queen Mary during Thanksgiving. As for Christmas, they did like party games in the main lounges, and then at the very end Santa would come in and deliver presents to all the children. And that was basically it. So it's just kind of like a little hoedown in the main lounges of the ships. Of the ship. Yeah, all the ships. That's what they did on Christmas. I know a lot of people probably expect some kind of grand Christmas celebration on these liners, but they were really understated. Mike says, train not running today. No, because before I started the stream, I was working on a video that's going to post later after the stream. So I didn't have time to clean the tracks, oil the locomotive, do all that stuff. So I decided not to run it. And then when I run it, I have to set up the extra camera, the extra lights, you know, all that stuff. I just didn't feel like doing it because I had like less than 25 minutes to set up the stream. You should see it. I've timed it to do one of these live streams with showing the train camera. It takes me 65 minutes from start to finish to set up the house so I can do the stuff. Because everything has to be plugged in, everything has to be moved around, reorganized. Space needs to be made, you know. 65 minutes just to start a live stream. Outdoors with Sean says, what kind or brand of tea do you usually drink? I usually always drink Twinings because it is a true British brand that is easily accessible here in the United States. And my favorite tea is Earl Grey. K4RNA says, good evening, Alex. I wish they would have taken pictures before ripping up the engineering sections of the ship. As far as your channel, they change. You will figure it out. So, from what I've been told, there was a photographer that came aboard the ship, and he took pictures of the entire ship basically every room, including the engineering spaces. But that collection of photographs is privately owned to this day. And I've asked who owns it, and I've been told the name. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but this person privately owns it, and they do not want to be disturbed. So, yeah. But there was a photographer that did go aboard the ship and photograph every room before the ship was altered. Moonzer, yes, I did know that it was in that movie. Ryan Hines says, just curious, Alex, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving? I am thankful for my friends and my family. I'm thankful that my dad is finally up here with us, so I can hang out with him more often, and just to be all together with, the people that I love. So, yeah, I'm thankful for that very much. So, yeah, and of course everything else too, being able to have this channel and being able to make content that, appeals to people who enjoy it and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things I have to be thankful for. Jeffrey. No, LMG wouldn't promote me on his channel. It's really hard to describe, but YouTubers, there's kind of an etiquette with YouTubers. And you only promote each other's channels most of the time as like a shout out. So like, if I was on a video or a live stream with LMG Vids, then he might say, Alex, introduce yourself and talk about your channel. And then that would be like a promotion. But he wouldn't randomly just be like, oh, and check out, my friend Alex's channel. Because my channel has nothing to do with what he does. So it wouldn't really make sense. And even if he did do stuff that like is related to what I do, it still would seem weird. So it's kind of like an unspoken etiquette not to promote other YouTube channels unless they are featured on your channel, and usually it's in the form of like a shout out, like, like, hey, this was Alex, go check out his channel, kind of thing. So, the funny thing is, though, is that I think that most people on his channel know who I am already. So, because I used to be in the Disney parks community, I used to make a lot of content for the Disney community. So, most of them know who I am, whether or not they've subscribed to my channel. So, yeah. They're just not part of my channel because I don't produce Disney content, and also because people don't watch my Disney content as much. So, Mark says, viral content is often just attention-seeking generally, and often fake. I never watch rubbish or like being dumbed down. Your channel is one of very few I subscribe to due to content and integrity. I know, right? That's what I love to do on this channel. I have, you know, a strict sense of integrity and good ethics. You know, and that's one of the things I thought would probably make my channel very different from a lot of other channels. And it has, but there is something to be said that, you know, if you want your channel to keep growing, you kind of have to appeal to the masses. And I don't know that it's difficult, because I don't want to produce that kind of content. I really don't. It has no interest to me to make viral content. So I've tried other techniques, making my YouTube thumbnails more interesting looking, giving more interesting titles. It works sometimes, but just not consistently. So I really don't know. What I need is to get the word out and tell people, if you like the channel and you want to keep seeing more, please watch the content. Problem is that when I put out those messages, the only people that read it are you guys, who read that stuff anyway, who watch the content anyway. So it needs to reach the people who don't, who can't be reached, which is silly, right? It's a silly problem to have. So Dyslexic Batnum says, people are just used to production line channels with big teams now. That's true. There are a lot of channels out there that just pump out videos because they have a whole team helping them. And so, yeah. Some of those channels can still be really good, but I've always thought, you know, it'd be great if one day I could get someone to do editing for the videos for me. But that would be a long time from now, because I don't have the ability to bring them on and have them help me do that. But the other thing, too, is that sometimes I wonder, would they produce the same stuff that I like, you know, like the same style that I would put into the video? Because a lot of editors, they have their own style and they want that to show. Hey Mike, how's it going? Thanks, Conrad. Yeah, I definitely really feel like my calling on YouTube is the very specific style that my videos have. I feel like that's the most interesting part about my content, is the way it's made. So it's nice to hear that you guys think the same way too, because, you know, I think some people would just say, oh, produce viral content and blah, blah, blah. But there's a difference between doing something for the money and doing it for the money, but because you like doing it as well. And I want my videos to have that passion in it. And I don't think you can get that same passion from just, you know, pooping out a viral movie or viral video, you know, like, I don't know. That's why I don't want to do videos like that, you know. Granny Gaming says, does Britain celebrate Thanksgiving at all? Because in Canada we have Thanksgiving at an earlier time than USA. Britain has a holiday called Thanksgiving, but it's not about anything the same as what the USA had. Like in the United States, we celebrate Thanksgiving, and this is the story that they tell us in school. So if it contradicts reality, don't blame me. This is just the education system at work. But from what they tell us, the Thanksgiving holiday in the USA celebrates when the Pilgrims landed and they had befriended the natives and had shared a meal. And so for that, we feast on Thanksgiving. There might be other like relations to Christianity that has something to do with the holiday, but from my understanding, that is why we do it. In Britain, they have a day called Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is over there more like a commemoration, more like a day for appreciating something very specific. I think like a person. Like, for instance, after someone dies, then there's often like a get-together that they call Thanksgiving. And it's just a moment with friends and family to kind of honor the person that had died. Kind of like a reception. Yeah, there we go. Kind of like a reception. So, yeah. So that is my understanding of it. I wasn't aware that Canada had a Thanksgiving. Is it like the USA where it's about, you know, landing in North America and then, you know, and then feasting with the natives? Is it the same? I have no idea. Yeah. Wyatt Horn says, did they decorate the ship for Christmas? I'm guessing you're asking about the Queen Mary when she was in service. No. They decorated the main lounges where they did the party, but they did not decorate the ship for Christmas. Hello, Eric. Good to see you. Granny Gaming says, what video is going to come out later like you said? Oh, yes. So after this stream is over, I'm going to quickly type up a description for the new video. But the video is a round trip ride through of the Seattle monorail. So going to the Space Needle and coming back from the Space Needle. Yeah, just something fun to watch. So that'll be coming out after the stream is done. And then on Tuesday will be a virtual tour of the Seattle Underground. So, yeah. And then Friday will be an update on the Queen Mary's construction. Yeah. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Jeffrey Charles says, how many views do you need per video to make it worthwhile? So I publish my videos, or at least I try to, by 4 p.m. on either a Tuesday or a Friday. By midnight, the video needs to have between 2,000 to 4,000 views. 2 is like the minimum. Between 2,000 to 4,000 views by midnight. So that's 8 hours. Sorry, I had to like really think about that. I'm like, how many hours is that? That's 8 hours. Yeah. And then from there, it'll slow down a bit. But the idea is that after 7 days, the video might have anywhere from 10 to 20,000 views in a week, the first week. So that is what I would call a successful video. And if it gets any better than that, then that is a really successful video. But that is what I need for a successful video. But you'll see on my channel that some videos have been on for months and they've barely gotten over 1,000 views. So, yeah, those are the videos that did not do well. So that's the viewership I need in order for a video to do well, in order for me to produce more content at a consistent basis. Because I think I told you guys once on one of my live streams that in my head I create a schedule of what I'm going to produce and when it's going to come out. And that's based off of doing a video that I think will do really well, and then in between doing another video that will do really well, I'll produce a video that I know might not do as well, but is still interesting to me. And so the idea is it would be unpopular, popular, unpopular, popular, unpopular, popular. Problem is that if I produce a video that I think is going to be popular and then it's unpopular, well, I can't produce 2 unpopular videos in a row or else I will suffer. So then I have to switch it to something that I think will be popular. And then if that fails, again, I can't make the mistake of a 3rd video in a row being unpopular. So then I'll switch it. And and that's the problem I've had the past 2 months. No matter what I've put out, it hasn't done very well these last 2 months. Not well enough. So, and in the last 2 weeks, I haven't really put out much of a video at all because I've kind of been like, you know, what's the point at this point? You know, like, what could I possibly put out that people will watch in droves? You know, where is the viewership gone? Why is it gone? I figure if I can figure out the root problem of why the viewership dropped, I might be able to correct it. I've never been able to figure out why the viewership dropped, so I don't know. Let's see here. Why, it says, I suppose Queen Mary is still behind closed doors. You mean like closed to the public? Yeah, she's still closed to the public, undergoing repairs right now. So they're trying to get her reopened by the end of the year. John says, what do you think of Poseidon Adventure? Can you see well movie was film on the Queen? Well, I did like 1972 Poseidon Adventure. It was a really good movie. Can you see well movie was film on the... I think you meant to say I can't, like did you notice that the movie was filmed on the Queen Mary? Which, if that's the question, then yeah, the exterior scenes where they're showing like people walking around the sun deck and stuff like that, those were filmed on the Queen Mary. But all the interior scenes, well, not all the interior scenes. It's funny, the scenes that people think were filmed on the Queen Mary tended to not be, and then the ones that they thought were filmed in a studio tended to be filmed on the Queen Mary. So a lot of people think like they filmed the Queen Mary's main lounge as the room where people were like dining and stuff like that in the movie, but that wasn't Queen Mary's main lounge. That was a movie set, and it didn't look anything like Queen Mary's main lounge. But then like they would show like walking around the hallways and corridors, and people might have thought that that was like a studio, but that really was Queen Mary's hallways and corridors. So it's kind of funny, like it's a little bit opposite of what people think. Granny Gaming. Yeah, I mean, that does sound like the same definition as American Thanksgiving. Granny Gaming says 4 p.m. which time zone? Pacific. I always use Pacific as my time zone because that's where I'm from. So you'll usually see, like, if I put like a post or something online and I say, you know, Pacific time, that's because I always talk with Pacific time. Moonzer says, I'm back. I will be back and forth on this stream and Historic Travels Live. I've been thinking about actually moving the Sunday streams because I know Historic Travels does his live stream at this time. And I think that's what's kind of... I think he starts his live stream an hour after mine. Or half an hour after mine, actually. And that's when I noticed that the stream drops viewers. And so I think that half the people end up going to go see his video, and so I don't want our two streams to compete with one another, you know. So I'm thinking about moving my live stream to a different time, different day even, actually. So the only thing is I can't guarantee Saturdays, but I can't do Monday because that's too close to Wednesday. It might have to be Saturdays. I might have to move the tea time streams to Saturdays, just so that way, you know, our two live streams don't compete with one another. Let's see. I'm just reading people's comments to see if there's something I can respond to. Let's see. That's alright, Eternal Travels. Doc, I'm not sure. If Steve's watching, he probably knows. Oh, he did answer. He says the ship portrayed in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes was supposed to be a French ship. The at-sea shots were of a model slightly resembles Queen Mary, but the onboard interiors were all studio sets. Wyatt, Wyatt, I wouldn't get too excited about... I know I'm already trashing my own Queen Mary update video, but don't get too excited, guys. I'm not gonna be able to show you anything, so I'm not gonna be able to show you photos or video of anything that's going on the Queen Mary, because everything that's been going on is going on behind the scenes. What the update video really is more about is just what's the word when you you take a bunch of information that's been spread out over a year and then you compile it into one video so it's easy for people to know what happened. So that's what the video really is mostly about. There is only going to be 30 seconds of construction update in the video that you probably haven't heard of. The rest is just a video just compiling all the information over the past year and then putting it together into one video. Because I have noticed that even though I used to have a series of videos, one for every month, on the construction update of the Queen Mary, people would watch the most recent one, but not the others. And then what would happen is they would comment and be like, well, yeah, but what about this and what about that? And I'd be like, okay, well, that's in, you know, that's in the video for December, or that's in the video for February. And then they go watch that and they'd be like, oh, well, what about this, this, and that? And then I'm like, oh, well, that's in the video for January. And so I'm just like, I might as well make only one more video, and it will just be a compilation of information for the past year, including the stuff that's going to be happening over the next month. But it's not much, and there isn't any photographs of the work being done because it's all happening behind the scenes. So I wouldn't get like all super excited and be like, yeah, we're gonna see what's going on. It's not gonna be like that. Mostly the video is going to be designed to kind of put to rest the folks that say things like, oh, well, the Queen Mary's about to capsize, or the people who are saying, oh, well, the Queen Mary, you know, her structural supports are so weakened she could collapse from the inside. That kind of thing. Like, it's going to put those people to rest because there's so much false information out there thanks to media and their desire for getting the clicks. I think that's probably why I'm so against producing viral videos, is because when I see like what the media has done to the reputation of the Queen Mary and how they're continuing to make it worse every time they get new information, I'm just like, it makes me not want to make that viral content. It makes me want to stick to what I do, which is difficult because people aren't watching it. So you guys might hate clickbait and viral content, but the problem is that it works. It works. It gets your attention, you click on it. Whether or not you like it, you've watched the video, you've given that person your view. So that's the sad part about how YouTube works. Daniel says, hey, Alex, is one of the pictures on top right the Lusitania or Mauretania at dock? I don't know. There's a lot of photographs going through there. I don't know. Jeffrey says, I bet when Queen Mary reopens, that will boost your channel as more people will be visiting and wanting to learn more. I hope so. That would be nice. I'm really hoping that's what happens. But, you know, the thing was, I wanted to have... The idea was that when the Queen Mary was supposed to open in October, I was going to go there, film the whole ship, so I can start working on a documentary about the ship. Like a whole, 90-minute documentary about the Queen Mary. But it didn't happen. And if it opens for Christmas, I don't want footage of the ship decked out for Christmas. I want footage of the ship as she looks normally. So I have to wait even longer to get footage of the ship. And that means postponing the documentary even more. So I'm probably also... This is the thing that I hate too. I'm probably also going to have to miss the wave of popularity that will happen for videos about the Queen Mary. Because, yeah, you're right. Once the ship reopens, a bunch of YouTube channels that have Queen Mary content, they're going to get, this big boost. And the most newest Queen Mary content will get the biggest boost of all. So I'm going to miss that wave because I don't want footage of the ship covered in Christmas lights. So, yeah. It just seems like every time I try to do something, it just becomes the most difficult thing to do. Henry, I saw something about it today, but what was really weird is I assumed that happened today. Allison, yeah, maybe that probably is what it is, but then that sucks because I guess that means that there's nothing I can do to get them back. Like, I just have to wait till they get bored with that information and then come back to the channel. So that is kind of sad. Cunard says, can too many meta tags hurt a video's views? Alweg Seattle Monorail sounds like it crosses over to Disney fans. I'm not sure what you mean by meta tags. Yeah, I don't know what that means, meta tags. I haven't heard of that. Granite Gaming says, personally, I think your stream is better, more chill and calm. Yeah, you know, it's all about, you know, what individuals prefer. Yeah, this stream is very much designed to be like a calm kind of like chat about anything, really. Anything that has to do with the channel, at least. We're not going to talk about, like, gentlemen's clubs or anything. Can you imagine? Let's see. Granny Gaming says, have you tried using YouTube Shorts before? Yeah, I have 2 YouTube Shorts with more coming out. I have one on Queen Mary's whistles. I have one on, what was the other one that I did? I don't remember. I have a second video, and then I have more on the way. Allison says, will you be sailing to the UK with your dad, or will you be sailing solo? No, I'll be sailing with my friend Chris. It was me and Chris's idea to go to the UK aboard the Queen Mary 2. And, you know, we're really good friends, and we both have, like, the same interests, so we know, like, where we want to go, what we want to do, and, you know, I'm going to be there filming the history, he's going to be there just enjoying his time, and then he needs to film Disneyland Paris. I don't need to film Disneyland Paris because I don't produce content on Disneyland Paris. But yeah, so it'll be a trip that will benefit both our channels, and of course we both love the Queen Mary too, so that's why we chose to do it there. So I still have my hopes that I can save up for that and still do that. But right now, because I've had such difficulty getting people to watch the videos, I've actually had to, my expenses have caused me to dig into the money I've already saved myself for the trip. The money that people have donated is in a separate account that I don't touch, but the money I've put forward to save for the ship, I've had to dig into that a little bit. Let's see. Allison says, link up your videos so that similar videos automatically play. Well, I can't control automatic playing because some people can turn off that feature themselves. But every one of my videos has a link at the end towards the next video. So the idea is that when you watch like a YouTube video on your computer, let's say like your desktop, then on the right side, it's going to be for you guys, for the right side has a list of videos, and the top video should be the ones I recommended. So let's say you watch a video about let's say you watch the video about the Queen Mary helping the Jews escape the Nazi Germany, right? let's say you watch that video. Then at the end of that video is a link to the next video in the series, which is Queen Mary in World War II, Part 1. Since that's at the end of the video, you can either click on it at the end of the video, which most people don't even stay that long. As soon as the screen goes black the first time, they stop watching. They don't even stay to see the links at the end. But nevertheless, because it's at the end, the first thing on your list, it should say Queen Mary in World War II Part 1. So I do have that. And it works as best it can. So, but I can't control the video automatically playing. That is an individual person's settings on YouTube. Thank you, Ryan. I mean, I want to stay the nice guy who teaches good lessons. That'd be cool, you know. Mike says, Alex, I'll click on a video and then leave after a few seconds if I don't like it. Do they still get money from YouTube? No. You have to watch the ads, or at least get to the ad breaks in order for them to get that money. If you leave before even seeing any ads, then they don't get any money. Let's see. Mark says, hey, Alex, forgive me, but does YouTube categorize videos, i.e. based on educational, quality content versus rubbish and pointless, like KK cutting a cucumber? Who is that? Surely number of views is not the only measure. So they do categorize videos based on certain categories. So the category on almost all my videos, because I never change the category, I always keep it on the same, is entertainment. But they only have a very select number of categories. Like there's like art, science, entertainment. I don't think there's one specifically for history, but yeah, it's basically like art, science, entertainment. Yeah, so it's on entertainment, I think, but education, I don't think I did it on education because I wasn't sure if education was the best place for the content that I do. If there is an education one, I don't even know. I'll have to check. John C. says, have you thought about doing history about things in Portland area? Yeah, I've actually produced content on things in the Portland area. I've produced a video called The Benson Hotel. That was one of the worst failures in my entire YouTube series. Like, literally one of the worst failures ever. I even tried republishing the video, thinking if I republish it, people might watch it this time. No, it still did just as bad. I don't know why. If you ask anybody who's seen it, they love that video. They think it's a great video. So if you guys want to support me and you haven't seen the video about the Benson Hotel, watch it. It's a good video, you know. But yeah, I have done stuff on that. So I have the Benson Hotel, and then I have a video about, it was done for Halloween season, but it was about a local park called Browns Ferry Park, and it was about a man in the 1800s who was murdered by his doctor, and supposedly his body is buried somewhere in the park. So it's not just a murder mystery story, it's also a little bit of history of the park and what was there before. So I did that, and then I have plans to do a video about Pittock Mansion. Pittock Mansion is a very beautiful, very large Edwardian house or mansion that's up on the hills of Forest Park. So I have that. And yeah, I don't there might be one other video or something. I don't remember, but there might be one other video coming on the Portland area that you'll be really surprised how very few videos I can make from the Portland area. I thought when I was moving up here that I had hit the mother lode of history coming up to Portland. But there aren't too many options. Oh, the Shanghai tunnels. That was the fourth one. So the Shanghai tunnels is one that I want to do. But aside from that, there really isn't much options for me. Portland is old, but surprisingly, there aren't that many tales of history to tell. This is why I wish I lived in the UK, because the UK has history around every single corner. The synagogue, that's right. Ocean Liner says the synagogue was your most recent short. Yes, that's right. I did a short on Queen Mary Synagogue. Granny Gaming says a lot of people blow up from YouTuber shorts. That is true. Little Gamer says attempt to make a short for all your major videos, i.e. what if Queen Mary hit Titanic's iceberg? I don't want to do that again, but I get your point. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I could. I'm not going to do it for every one of them, but I could. I'm not against making shorts, you guys. I've been making shorts. But I get more money from the videos that are substantial in length. My YouTube shorts don't get seen by that many people. I think it took a long time for the first short to even get that many views. Even then, it didn't blow up. So, but I mean, I'm not against making it. I have plans to keep making more. So. Meta tag is like hashtag XXXX listed in the description, like cross into... Oh, you just mean tags. Okay, yeah, I mean, I do tags on many of my videos. Like all my Queen Mary videos have a tag. It's like hashtag Queen Mary, hashtag history, hashtag... like something more specific than that. Like, you know, if it's about the synagogue, then about, like... synagogue or something. So, but yeah, I do 3 of them for each video. So they're on there. They're in my video descriptions for the history videos. Those probably help, but I don't know. There's no numbers on it. There's no numbers that say this many viewers from searching for the tags. It doesn't say that. So I don't know if it's working, but I put them on there anyway. So Jeffrey says, prank videos are really popular, but if I see you filming pranks on Queen Mary, that would be funny. I don't know that I would do pranks. I'm never good at pranking people. I'm not that good at that. Tea's cold. Evan, Scott. Well, we don't know that it's going to open at the end of the month. I mean, you know, I have to make sure everybody knows that there is no official reopening date for the Queen Mary. There is not one yet. So, we will see. Ryan says, do you like Christmas treats like gingerbread cookies, sugar cookies, or candy canes? Yes, I do like soft gingerbread cookies, and I also like soft sugar cookies. Candy canes, I put that in my hot cocoa during Christmas time, but I don't eat candy canes as they are. I'm not a candy person, so I don't really like candy, but, Conrad says, oh, okay, tag. What if you put in 10 or 20 tags or more? So from what YouTube tells me, 3 tags is the maximum for like what will literally be linked to your video. So you could put in more tags, but it doesn't necessarily link your video to those YouTube tags. It's only up to 3. So I put the maximum, which is 3. Yes, you can type in 20 tags, but only 3 will actually link to those tags. The others will just be random words that you've typed out in the description. That is how they explained it to me, at least. Allison says, what about doing videos on the end of the Oregon Trail, which I think ends near Portland, Willamette Valley? That's right in your backyard, and its history. I don't know. Right off the top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind is I need footage. I need something to show in the video. I don't know how much imagery I could find to put in the video. But I don't know. I'm not out of ideas, you guys. I'm not out of ideas. I have hundreds of ideas on what to make for you guys. So the problem isn't finding new things to make. It's finding out what the majority of people will watch. So, yeah. Happa says, I'm enjoying your live stream in Japan. Every time I see you, I feel like brewing and tasting tea and actually do so. Unfortunately, mine is with a tea bag, though. That's okay. But it's really cool. You're watching from Japan. Wow. That's pretty neat. Well, thank you so much. I didn't know I had any viewers from Japan. Elvis says, hi, Alex. Hello, Elvis. Yeah, so after the stream is done, I will be posting a round-trip ride-through video of the Seattle monorail. So it'll go from the city center to the Space Needle and then back. I don't expect that to be a popular video, so don't worry if it's not, you guys. I know that people aren't here to see ride-through videos of stuff, but I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to publish it on my channel, so... yeah, so... lots of stuff lined up for you guys. Empire of Waterloo, do a gratitude challenge. Find things that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for everything. I'd have to find things I'm not grateful for, honestly. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for the fact that I can even be sitting in this apartment and not have to be living in somebody's garage or on the street. I'm thankful for everything I have. So there is no shortage of that, believe me. Let's see. Ryan says, do you have any favorite Christmas songs? Yeah, actually, I do. I have... So, one of my most favorite Christmas songs is a rendition of O Come All Ye Faithful by Elvis Presley. So that is my favorite Christmas song. And then, let's see. I also really like I can't remember the name of the other song. I will not be able to remember it. But when I hear it, I know it. That's for sure. I also really like the song "So This Is Christmas" by John Lennon. I also really like the song "Must Be Santa" by Bob Dylan. My Chemical Romance sang a version of "All I Want for Christmas Is You," so that's a version I like. Um, I don't know. I like a lot of classic Christmas songs. To be honest, what I used to do was back when I still had a radio. I would put on. There was this radio station when I lived in California called K Earth 101, and every Christmas they would play classic Christmas music. And so I used to put that on at this time of year, every day. I listen to Christmas music every day to get me into the spirit. I no longer own a radio, so I don't do that, but I do have a small collection of Christmas songs on my phone and stuff, so I do play that on occasion. What I should do is I should go and actually find more Christmas music, put it on my phone onto a playlist, and have a nice big playlist of Christmas music that I can listen to. Because I love Christmas music, I really do. So yeah, those are some of my most favorite Christmas songs. Granny Gaming says, "Do you celebrate U.S. Thanksgiving?" Of course, an American. So I'm trying to think of what do you call an American that's from the U.S. A U.S. citizen, I guess. Yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen. I celebrate Thanksgiving. That's what I do. But yeah, my family looks forward to Thanksgiving every year. We usually have a big feast and stuff. I am the one that makes the turkey every year because I am the former chef, so I actually everybody likes when I make the turkey and the stuffing and stuff. It's all a recipe that my dad came up with. So my dad used to be the one that would make the turkey every year. He'd make the stuffing. It was very, very specific recipe. And now I do all that. So yeah, I look forward to Thanksgiving every year. But that's funny. The one thing I don't look forward to in Thanksgiving is when I was a kid, one of my favorite dishes was to have candied yams. And the way we prepared it was quite simple. You bake the yams so they're fully cooked. Then you apply butter, cinnamon, brown sugar, and maybe nutmeg. You mix that up so it's nice and mixed together and mushy and mashed. You put marshmallows over it and bake it so they become soft and crunchy on the top. And that was my favorite dish for Thanksgiving. Problem is that nobody in my family anymore, my grandma used to like that dish a lot. So when my grandma was still around, I would have that dish every Thanksgiving, and basically me and her would eat most of it because the rest of my family didn't really like it. Unfortunately, my grandma hasn't been around for 6 years. So every year for the last 6 years, I'm stuck being the only person that wants candied yams for Thanksgiving. And so in the past, we used to make it. I think my family knows I like it, and they try to make it different ways that they think they might enjoy it, but then I don't enjoy it made those ways. So I think this year, I'm just going to be let's not do it, because I don't like it any other way than the specific way I described. And they don't like it that way. So this will be the first year I won't get candied yams for Thanksgiving. But that's okay, because everything else I really like. I really like the turkey. I really like all that stuff. So I get really into the holidays. I really, really love Thanksgiving and Christmas. Those are the two most magical times of the year for me. I look forward to it every year. So, and then of course, now that I live up north, you know, another thing I look forward to during Christmas time is the snow. I know a lot of people who live in areas that snow hate snow. But growing up in Southern California, where basically the weather never changes, having snow is like a blessing. So, love it. Oh, wow, there's a lot of comments now. Mike says, "Oh, Holy Night is my favorite Christmas song." That's a good one. I also like another Elvis Presley rendition. I think it's called The First Noel. Yeah, I really like that one. Carol of Bells. Wyatt Horn says Carol of Bells and some other one. I forgot what it is. Yes, the Carol of Bells is another one of my favorite Christmas songs. Love the Carol of Bells. I that was the one I was saying a few minutes ago. I was like, I don't think I'll be able to remember what the song is called. Yeah, that's what it was. Carol of Bells. You know what I want to do? I want to go on the internet and find old Victorian Christmas songs. Because, I mean, nobody plays them anymore. But they're good songs, you know. So I want to find some old Victorian Christmas songs and see if I can get into any of them. Ryan says, "I love the Christmas song by Nat King Cole and Let It Snow." Cool. November. You know, something else I look forward to every year is we have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that happens in New York. Me and my family, we love to watch that every year on Thanksgiving. Love the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade. Elvis says, "Would you make a video about the Iowa Battleship Museum that's near the Queen Mary?" I don't think so. I'm not really into warships, so I don't think my channel will be covering warships at all. Granny Gaming says, "My mom told me that my uncle stuffs ruffles inside the turkey." Oh my goodness. Daniel says, "Hello from Portland to Portland." Yes, hello, Daniel. Let's see. You know, I missed the sunset. I looked outside right now, Daniel. I was like, "Oh, is it a beautiful sunset?" And I looked, and it's like pitch black outside, so I missed the sunset. The sun sets so quickly. One moment it's daytime, the next moment it's like immediately it's dark, it's nighttime. Granny Gaming says Canadian Thanksgiving is in October. Interesting. Daniel says, "As a British guy living alone in Portland, Thanksgiving is a bit of a nothing holiday to me, sadly." Yeah, it can be. When in my family, like, we have a really big family, and we used to do really big Thanksgiving, you know, feasts, and even when like some of that family, you know, passed away and stuff, we would eventually just invite friends and stuff over and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this'll be like the first time I'll have Thanksgiving with my dad living up here. So I'm actually really excited for that because, I mean, he did visit, you know, I think he's been here for every Thanksgiving. But nevertheless, the point is that he doesn't have to drive up and then, you know, have Thanksgiving and then go back. You know, he lives here now, so I'm actually really excited for that. Because now we get to see him on both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, John says, "Fun fact, the Washington Park Zoo stop on the Max is the deepest transit station in North America. and 6th in the world. I did not know that. That is pretty cool. Granny Gaming says, I live in a country where snow is a normal thing. I partially hate snow. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, people who've grown up in areas that snow, you know, every winter, they hate snow. But I grew up in Southern California where the weather never changes. You don't get fall like you do here. Like, in Portland, it's, you know, you saw my live stream yesterday, you guys. It was like the trees were all yellow and orange and red. It was beautiful. In Southern California, it's not like that. There's palm trees everywhere and cypress trees, and nothing changes, you know. So it stays the same all the time. It's either hot or hotter. That's the funny thing. Like, we had heat waves in the middle of December. It was just really weird. I hated it. But up here, the seasons change. It feels different season to season. I love that. I love that it changes. And then, of course, the snow, you know. So. Allison says, you're a chef. How fabulous. I'm a mess in the kitchen. Yes, I used to be a chef. Went to culinary school for it. I can't do it now because of my schizophrenia. But that was a life I had once. Steve says, same, then we continue to watch the dog show right after. You know, it's funny, I think we watch the dog show too, but only because there's nothing else to watch afterwards. But, but yeah, we do end up watching the dog show. Ryan says, do you typically have turkey leftovers? If so, how much? A lot. We usually have a lot, like enough to make turkey sandwiches for lunch at least 2 days in a row, plus turkey for dinner around 2 to 3 days in a row for everybody. So yeah, a lot. We cook a lot of turkey. I grew up in a family that loves leftovers, especially turkey for leftovers. So my dad makes this really good cranberry, what do you call it? Cranberry sauce. So a lot of Americans, when they have cranberry sauce, it's like this stuff that comes in a can. I don't think it's good, but a lot of people do. But my dad, what he makes is just magic. It's just holiday magic. He will get fresh cranberries, and then he will stew them in a mixture of wine, orange juice, sugar, lemon zest, orange zest. No, orange zest, not lemon zest. So orange zest, cinnamon sticks, and then once it's been cooked down into a cranberry sauce, a marmalade or a jelly, whatever you want to call it, it becomes saucy. And the cranberries burst, you know, and the whole thing becomes like the consistency of like a marmalade. It's a really sweet sauce once it's done, and then he'll put toasted pecans in there. And it is absolute holiday magic, that cranberry sauce that he makes. Everybody who's tried it has fallen in love with it. And my dad has to make, seriously, like, gallons of it. Because me and my sister love it so much. And then, you know, and everybody we give it to, they just you know, like, eat all the cranberry sauce. So, like I said, like, you taste it, and it's served cold. So after he cooks it, he'll put it in the fridge overnight, so it'll, like, get really cold. And you usually have it in, like, a separate little cup or tray or something, and It is so delicious. It tastes like holiday magic. It's just unbelievable. So I look forward to the cranberry sauce every year. And it's like the one thing he makes now, because like I said, he's like retired from the Thanksgiving kitchen. So, but he still makes the cranberry sauce. So he does that every year. I've made the cranberry sauce once because I remember he was busy doing something else. He didn't want to make it. And so I made the cranberry sauce once. So I've done it before. I can. But yeah. Wyatt Horn, yeah, you're right. The Strausses who died on Titanic, they once owned Macy's. Granny Gaming says, do you have daylight savings? Yes, we do, unfortunately. I don't like daylight savings, but we do have it. And we, our times, they changed a few days ago, so had to reset my microwave and my stove to a different time. Steve says, Macy's started the parade around 1924. It was purely a promotional thing, but ended up becoming an institution. Yeah, that's something I did know, and I that's fascinating to me every time I think about it. You know, because when you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, especially those people who are not Americans who don't really understand it, they watch it and they're like, this is just purely a promotional thing. Like, clearly they are advertising their stores, you know, and then of course they're making money off of the ads and stuff like that, and it is pure commercialism at its American best, but it's become you know, a holiday tradition. It's become a holiday institution, so it is kind of interesting that, you know, but yeah, but I mean, in exchange for all that commercialism and capitalism, what we get is a really entertaining parade. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. There was a worry, I remember, during the pandemic, when the pandemic first started, because Macy's was in like some serious financial woes, you know, because the world was kind of, you know, going not in a good direction. And so there was this worry, I think, that Macy's was going to have to stop doing the Thanksgiving Day Parade, that Macy's was going to close down because Sears closed down. And so, you know, but it seems things are still going fine for Macy's, which is good, because I look forward to that parade every year. I can't do without it. So, and the funny thing is, I'm not one to watch parades. Like, when I used to go to Disneyland all the time, I did not watch the parades. I'm not a parade person, but, you know, the Thanksgiving Day Parade is a tradition. I have to watch it. Wyatt says, Missouri has the same weather, but Missouri can never pick or choose what temperature it wants. Mike says, snow is nice if you don't have to shovel it or slip and fall in it. You know, yeah, that's true. The first year I was here and it snowed in the winter, the snow froze one of the nights. And there was one time where I literally just almost face planted it on the ground because I was walking along the driveway. The asphalt looked like it was covered in snow, but the snow had frozen to this really, like, slippery surface, and yeah, I literally almost face planted it right into the asphalt. I managed to stay upright, but yeah, ever since then, I've been very cautious of frozen snow. So, and then I was taking a walk in the snow, and I was just going around the apartment complex, and I'm passing underneath this tree, and there was a significant amount of ice that had frozen to every surface. And as I'm walking under this tree, this huge limb comes crashing down right in front of me. A huge tree limb with like all the branches attached to it. And that could have killed me because it was covered in like 2 inches of ice. So it was extra heavy. And I just remember thinking, that almost killed me, and I am still alive. So, yeah, that was pretty scary. Mike says, Alex, my older son may get a job at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel. Good thing or a bad thing? You know, I don't want to be the kind of person that's like, oh, that's terrible. You shouldn't let him do it, you know. I did not have a good experience working for the Disney company. You know, my father worked for the Disney company for 18 years at one point, and you know, he did not have a good experience either. It was just not at all pleasant. And I personally wouldn't recommend it to anybody, even if you're a Disney fan. But at the same time, I know people who are Disney fans and they loved their job working for Disney. I will say, though, that the company that exists today is almost entirely different from the company I hired into in 2009. It feels very different. The company I hired into in 2009 did not have the same mindsets that the company has today. So if I didn't enjoy it back when it was more Disney than it is today, I don't imagine anybody would enjoy it today. But again, I don't know. And I don't want to be the kind of person that's like, oh, that's terrible, you shouldn't do it. Because some people might still enjoy it. But they took away so much of the things that made cast members feel so special. And they commercialized it. So, yeah, I don't know. Ryan Hines says, since you have snow in your area, do you the motivation to make a snowman? Well, so it does snow, but the last couple of years we haven't had snow thick enough to make a snowman. So, I'm hoping maybe this year we'll get a thicker layer of snow. But I think at most I saw maybe 1.5 inches of snow on everything. And then, especially last year, we had maybe 1 inch of snow. And then the next day it had all melted. It was gone. So we had like 1 day of snow where I live. So, I don't know. But if we do get a particularly snowy winter and it's more than 2 inches thick, I am most certainly going to try to make a snowman. I've always wanted to try to make a snowman. I've never had the opportunity to do it. So, I'm excited about that. Granny Gaming says, changing the microwave and stove clock is always a pain. I know, right? The ones on mine are just same company, but 2 completely different methods of changing the time on both devices. It's just, yeah. Ocean Liner asks, do you know who allowed Port Everglades to sell off the RMS Queen Elizabeth to Hong Kong and why? No, but I have a feeling that Steve knows. Mike says he would be chef at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel. Oh, wow. Chef at Disney's Grand Californian. That might be a good job for him then. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Steve says the port did not own the Queen Elizabeth. The Queen Corp owned the Queen Elizabeth, but were behind in their payments to Cunard. So Cunard basically repossessed the ship and resold it to CY Tung. Mike says, I put out the outside Christmas lights today. For some reason, only half of them work and one bulb blinking. They worked before I put them up. Tomorrow, I'll fix. Yeah, you know what I want to get for my apartment is I want to get like a miniature Christmas tree. Now, I prefer full-size Christmas trees. I really do. But I live in a studio apartment. There is quite literally no space for a full-size Christmas tree. But I do want to get a miniature Christmas tree because I may not like decorating for Halloween, but I do like decorating for Christmas. I don't own any Christmas decorations anymore. When I moved up to Portland, I had to get rid of half of everything I owned. I literally had to just get rid of all of it. And one of the first things to go was Christmas decorations. So I no longer have any Christmas decorations. But I might get a few things. I might get a wreath for the door. I might get a tiny Christmas tree for the apartment, and then maybe some garland or something. And then maybe some like Christmas like potpourri, like they sell like the pine cones that smell like cinnamon. So I might get that. Daniel says, I worked for Industrial Light and Magic, part of the Disney family, and as a cast member, we got free access to the park, but sadly, my last time there was during COVID. Wow, you worked for Industrial Light and Magic. That's pretty cool. That's a big achievement, you know. Wyatt says, I'm dying to decorate for Christmas. Yeah, me too. Granny Gaming says, it snowed a super tiny bit today up north here in Canada. Nice. Ryan Hines says, when do you typically decorate for Christmas? I used to decorate for Christmas November 1st of every year. So, no, I have that wrong. December 1st. No. When did I decorate? No, let's see. I used to decorate for autumn, and I did that on the last day of September. And then those fall decorations, they were not necessarily Halloween decorations, they were fall decorations. Then I would take down the fall decorations on the day after Thanksgiving. And then after taking them all down, I put up the Christmas decorations that same night. So basically, 2 days after Thanksgiving, I would have Christmas decorations up. And the Christmas decorations would stay up through mid-January. That's how I used to schedule it. But I don't have any decorations now. Matt C. says, hey, Alex, have you been to a Titanic-themed restaurant that serves dishes from Titanic's menu? No, I haven't. I'm not aware of any that exist in the United States, at least. Oh, Goofy Rolls, I'm sorry to hear that. Wyatt says, I don't know if you have a Ross, but during the holidays, my Ross had a Christmas tea set, but I could only get a teacup and saucer. Oh yeah, we do have Rosses here, but I have a very nice tea set here. I don't need to get another one. Mike says, in my first apartment, we hung the Christmas tree upside down from the ceiling in a corner to save space. Really? Are you serious? Oh my gosh. I know that in the Victorian age, they used to hang Christmas trees. Could I do that here? I mean, a small one. I wouldn't hang a huge Christmas tree, but I technically could hang a Christmas tree. I have vaulted ceilings in my apartment. That was one of the perks about getting this apartment, is that I have vaulted ceilings. So I actually do have the space to hang a Christmas tree from the ceiling. I don't know that I'm going to do that, though, because I'm not going to get my fat butt onto a ladder to do that. So, no way. Doc says, are you opposed to thrifting? I've gotten so many antique ornaments for super cheap at thrift shops. Great way to find some vintage decor. I'm not opposed to thrifting, but I almost never go shopping in the first place, so... but if I find something I think is really cool, I have no problem buying it. Matt says, do you think there will be another ocean liner built after Queen Mary 2 is retired, maybe by Cunard or a different line? I don't think a different line would ever make another ocean liner. The real question is, would Cunard make another one after Queen Mary 2? There's a possibility if the Queen Mary 2 continues to be a popular ship to take on the transatlantic crossings, I can see Cunard wanting to invest in another ocean liner. But if the popularity of doing that, the crossings drops, then it may not be worth it for them to invest in another ocean liner. So there's a possibility they won't. Ryan says, I saw a weird Christmas decoration of Santa's legs sticking out of a Christmas tree. Do you think a decoration like that is funny, or does it ruin a Christmas tree? I personally am not a fan of tacky decorations. I like tasteful decorations. When it comes to decorating for holidays, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to that. So I try to get only stuff that looks natural if I can. I don't do, decorations with like Santa Clauses and reindeer everywhere. I do stuff like wreaths and natural decorations like pine cones and things. And then depending on the Christmas tree, I'll have like the usual ornaments, but the ornaments won't be like crazy colors. I usually like red and gold for Christmas trees. So I usually get red and gold ornaments. Red and gold, just like typical Christmas tree decorating ornaments and things. And then I like putting a star at the top of the Christmas tree. Yeah. yeah, I'd say that's it. All right, folks. I am exhausted, and I still have to put out that video I was telling you guys I'm going to put out tonight. So I'm going to end the live stream, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish typing up the description of that video. It should be fully uploaded by now, so I'm going to type up the description, then post the video, so it should be on within a half an hour from now. Honestly, it should be available within half an hour from this point. So it is a full round trip ride through of the Seattle monorail. It's only 10 minutes long, so you know, give it a try. It's an interesting little video, and you can see Seattle from the monorail, and you know, give it a like and a comment. Yeah, I hate saying that, but it works. It helps my channel when you leave a like and a comment. And then is there anything else I need to tell you guys? No, not when it comes to today. So yeah, anyway, you guys, I am gonna leave it at that. I know some folks just got here, but yeah, it's already time for me to get going. All right, just double checking any of, yeah. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this tea time. I will see you all on Wednesday. I might switch the Sunday tea times to Saturdays. So instead of doing it this time next week, it might be Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So it'll be Wednesdays, Saturdays, 4 p.m. Pacific time, in order so that way my live streams don't compete with Historic Travels and vice versa. So yeah, so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.